All right, y'all. Anybody want these seats up front? Well, you got a chance. All right, so I appreciate all y'all coming here. Bad with me. I've been on my feet all day this morning session. Everybody just left out. I appreciate y'all time and effort. This is a give and take thing, so I want to greet all y'all first. And so I know who I'm dealing with personally, because this is an ongoing thing. We're going to be dealing with each other throughout y'all careers. This is information that y'all can use. All this stuff is neat and slick and all that, but really you can pay somebody to do all this stuff with you. I didn't do none of this stuff. As far as the technical aspect, I paid people to do it a few $100s. If you got time to sit on the computer, that's cool. I'm going to teach y'all this, but the main thing is up here and what's coming from here, who you are as a person. We're going to get into all that first. I'm going to greet all of y'all, and then I want to give everybody a chance to say who they are, just your name, where you from, and what's your occupation, and what brought you here. Because the main benefit of stuff like this is not the information. You can get this information online. Matter of fact, I emailed this whole thing I'm going to be teaching y'all. I emailed this to everybody that's text that slick text number, that 855-875 number, text 85 to it. Y'all all have that. So the information is there. What's really important is y'all, because only certain type of people is going to take the time out of their day and put the effort into coming to an event like this. And only people that come to events like this is people who are trying to go somewhere, people who are headed somewhere, or people who are already there trying to reach back or go further. So this is a concentrated group of people, and all of y'all gonna be seeing each other throughout y'all careers, and it's somebody in here that got the answer to whatever problem you may have. Maybe you're looking for a job, maybe it's a mechanic in here, your truck needs to be fixed, maybe you do a power wash system, you might have a car, then everybody got side hustles and all that stuff. So, and this is a real small city, so y'all gonna be seeing each other's faces now that y'all here, and everybody's here for a specific purpose, as if you were going to a club or somewhere else and everybody was there for something different. So I'm going to come around, greet all of y'all, and then I want y'all to say who y'all are and what y'all do. And if you got some type of business, say it, because it may be a customer in here or a new employee or somebody who haven't answered or whatever your problem is or issue. So the key to all this is people. You can get further in life knowing people than you will having stuff. It could be somebody you bump into that can open the door for you that could have cost you money and now it don't. Or it could cost you less money. So I'm gonna come reach y'all, then we're gonna have a chance for everybody to say who they is, what y'all do, and we're gonna get right into it. So what's up, mom? Nice to meet you. Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And I appreciate y'all coming out here and spending your time, especially on Saturday. Nice to meet you. What's going on, bro? How you doing? Everybody scared at the front. And the power in the personal touch, because we all got energy and we transfer when we touch stuff. That's why you got to be careful who you surround yourself with. I remember there's a world-class pencil dealing with it. I said, whatever you touch you. You ever hear that saying, you go to the barber shop enough times, you're going to get a haircut? That's why you got to be mindful. That's why you got to be mindful of the places you go, the people you surround yourself with. Everything you surround yourself with becomes you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Ain't move. Hey, you want to see something? Yeah. That's what's up. That's the best thing you could ever did, because a lot of us started off on rough paths. And me personally, I got out of prison when I was 25, in 2010. I didn't even start my positive journey until then. So imagine if I'd had this information at his age. See what I'm saying? So that's good. I started over there earlier. Let's start with y'all. Say who you is, where you from, what kind of work or business you in.
My name
Somebody be helping y'all that's here.
My name is Anton. This is my son, Sincere. I'm from Baltimore, East Baltimore. I'm a truck driver. I just recently bought a truck. We just actually left it, did a PM oil change and things of that nature. And I'm here just to learn. Like, you could never stop learning. I'm 8 years in and just still trying to learn and master the craft.
8 years?
Yeah.
That's what's up. Young man, you gotta learn how to stand on your feet, speak in front of the crowd. That'll take you forever, far, like, know how to speak up for yourself. What's your name? Where you from? What you do? I mean, let's see. I just go to school. What school you go to? What grade you in? Alright, cool.
My name Damo. I'm from East Baltimore. I'm currently the owner operator of a box truck business. I'm about a little bit over 2 years in and trying to take it to the next level. My CDLs and unknown knowledge power, so I'm here.
So you doing box truck?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Bruce, East Baltimore, got a trucking company. Just an owner, not an operator.
Well, you own the operator, so you own the truck, but you don't own the company. You leased onto a company.
I'm saying I own the truck, but I don't drive it.
Okay, so you got driver.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it drive, yeah.
How long you done own the truck?
About 2 years now.
So you
Just
had a
getting-
driver before?
Yeah, just
Okay.
getting it, getting the truck up the car and everything.
Yeah, and them drivers come in and out, don't they?
Yes, they do.
I know, and we're gonna talk about that. That's why I don't really encourage people to go. See, I call it the self-help tickler circuit, and what they doing is they soliciting for your attention so they can gain you as a follower, so they can turn around and sell you information and turn you into a customer. So a lot of these people that's out here claiming that they these masters of whatever, or gurus, or whatever you want to call them, it's a big scheme. And the scheme is, if I can get 3,500 people to pay me $300, then I just made $1 million off of something that I only made one time. That's why you're seeing so many people coming out with these ebooks. But what are they charging you for? You made it digitally. That may cost you a couple $100 to do it, to market it and all that. But you're not paying for it each and every single time like you would a paperback. But they're looking at turning as many people as they can into followers so they can turn y'all into customers, so they can sell y'all. And then they just gonna give you just enough information to get you excited. Then they gonna upsell you to the big product and turn you into a lifelong customer. So that's what the scheme is. This, I call it the self-help chicken circuit. This self-help industry, we just getting into it. And so just like if you look at, if you go back, the only African American that was really into self-help was Les Brown. But you see the same thing happen with soccer, or not soccer, tennis. You see it happen with golf. So now the door's open and everybody wants to be a self-help person, and then the internet is here. So it's nothing stopping anybody from saying whatever they want to say. But all of that is a big scheme in order to hurry people to sell you. Anybody here remember this movie called Cotton Comes to Harlem? Right, remember that? Slick Preachers? Yeah, come through town, get you all hyped up, get your money, roll out, got all the girls. Right, so now the old slick preacher is the self-help, whatever you want to call them, of today. They selling you hype so they can get rich. If you follow these people back, their money is not from the business that they selling you that you can do. The money is coming from them selling you how to do it. Trace them back. I'm telling you, I spent tens of thousands of dollars on my education, and I'm trying to shortcut y'all so you don't have to do it, because if people are so interested in helping people, they so called by God, then why everything got a fee attached to it? Try to call one of these guys and ask them a couple questions out the stream, see what happens. Next person.
My name is Moses. I've been driving for a year. I work for Pepsi. I'm just trying to start my own company.
I don't want to cut you in. I got a homeboy in the feds. I'm trying to get him. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm trying to get him in so he can see it. He just called me now.
I mean, my name is Moses. I drive for Pepsi. I'm just trying to start my company.
All right. Next person. What's your name? Where you from? What kind of business you in?
Named Takman. I'm from West Baltimore. I don't got my CDL yet, but I'm going to school. So
What school you go to?
all state.
All right, cool. See, and another one of these things, see, when I was talking about everybody, somebody got the answer to your problem ahead. So this brother was looking for a driver. You're going to be a driver soon. You may not be able to work for him today, but drivers come in and out. You may run across him 6 months from now on the streets, and he may be looking for a driver because the one he just had rolled out or got fired or whatever. That could be a job. So at some point, y'all gonna want to talk to each other in here and get each other contact information because y'all are valuable to each other. How you doing? Hey y'all, this is the owner of this venue.
Hello.
So thank her for having us in here. It couldn't happen without her. How old is you?
26.
See, that's good. I was 25 when I started. You're on the right path. That's what's up. Boys.
My name is Corey. I'm from East Baltimore. Right now, I just work at McCormick in the company.
McCormick, can you in the warehouse?
Nah, I'm in production.
What you done there?
Like
Assembly line?
Yeah.
All right, that's what's up. So y'all got all the trucks coming in and out of there.
Yeah.
You been talking to the drivers,
Yeah. That's
saying what they get paid and all that?
Yeah.
Right. Are you familiar with the people in dispatch, the people in the office that dispatch the loads? Not dispatchers. It's a dispatcher spree of them selling y'all dispatch information that you don't need. All right, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people that work in the office that's employees of the company. You need to start getting cozy with them because they got hundreds of loads. How many docks y'all got?
They got a lot.
Right, and each one of them got trucks in them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's money.
They be using Rider.
Well, Ryder is a, they might have a DOT now, but that's a rental company as well. So people might rent trucks from Ryder and send their drivers in. But you need to be talking to the people that's responsible for the loads and trying to see how you get in there directly. So by the time you get your truck, you can get direct freight, cut the broker out, and get money, and then you can get contracts with them. And I'll show you how to get loads without contracts, but all that stuff is helpful, so you're not there for nothing. All that is going to play a part in the journey. Somebody else?
My name is Dino. Right now, we're down, I pull loads out of the port, pull all this. Just trying to be an owner operator.
Okay, so you working for somebody?
Yeah.
An independent or a company?
Independent.
How many trucks you got?
6.
Okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of them.
Yeah, that's cool. I started up my first 6 years home. I worked at the port. I couldn't go over the road because I was on parole, and then I was on this violence prevention unit, so I was forced to work in the port. But it's not my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, it's not.
But the port has benefits because it keeps you home every day, no matter how late it is. You may have to get up early, and it keeps you off on the weekends.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit to it. A lot of people, a lot of older guys, you'll see go to the port after they done put their years in, and they're like, I just want to do a couple loads, take my ass home. My truck paid for, all that type of stuff. When I started, 10 grand to get you in the game. This was in 2010. Everybody was buying $6, $7, $8, $12,000 trucks. Paid for, you go run down the port. You ain't going real far, make a few $1,000s a week in cars a day. Things have changed. From my understanding, it's getting better down the port. They paying attention now. And they're supposed to be updating some systems where you get in and out of there faster.
Yeah, pin codes now.
Right. I haven't been down there, so I don't know personally, but that's what I hear. That's the word.
Still get packed. Still get crowded in there.
Yeah, and then anytime the unions is like the mob. So whenever they trying to get some more money, they'll shut all that stuff down and slow everybody down.
Yeah.
Every year is something else. But we'll talk about it a little bit later.
Dante, I'm from West Baltimore, and I have a dump truck company.
Okay, how long you been doing the dump trucks?
For 3 years.
How you like it in wintertime, the rain and all that?
Slow, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, shut your ass down.
Right, yeah.
That's why I ain't never fuck with it.
Right.
You got an AR already? Or
Yes.
Okay, so that's a head start.
Flower for it, though.
Yeah, you can do that, but every time you turn around, my personal preference, like I don't like the port, I stay away from the dump truck because every time you turn around, there's something. And also, I didn't have no entry point. So, as far as my knowledge, how you doing? As far as my knowledge is concerned, I don't know how to get loads for that. So I stay away from it. But that's what's up. You already got your A. A lot of people do the dump trucks because they want to get the B. It takes less time, but then they find themselves having to go back through school and all this stuff. So you shortcutted yourself time by starting with the A. Now, only thing it is to transfer up. You can either sell your equipment or keep it. And
I'm trying to expand it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what you'll find, have you had drivers yet?
Yeah, before I had a tractor already before, but I sold it.
Say it again.
I had a tractor before like 3 years ago, but I had a problem like trying to get the driver.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting a dump truck and started driving it myself.
Yeah, you'll hear me talk about that a lot. When I was talking about that dream they selling y'all, look, is there money in trucking? Yes. All right. But there's a shortage of drivers. We're gonna talk about that once I get into this. Now, it's been a shortage since I started, but if you look up the American Trucking Association, which is an authority in trucking that do a lot of the research, you'll see they saying we need 80,000 drivers this year. Well, they were saying this last year before the year even was over. You're going to find some people that's trying to refute that and saying it's not a driver problem, it's a driver retention problem. But if it's not a driver shortage, then why is the retention so high? So they're saying that because they're trying to excuse a solution or sell you some type of product. But the fact of the matter is, this is the only industry where you don't wake up and worry about getting fired. Because if you lose a job, you're going to get another one. I have no work history. All I ever did was break law. I ain't never not had a job since I've been home. And that's because of the CDL. So, and I've owned fleets of trucks multiple times. So I know from the day in and the day out, and I'm dealing with about 3,500 people that call me with their problems. So I know what's going on, aside from the fact that all my personal friends, the majority of them is in trucking. So aside from the fluff that people are telling me, where they may not want to tell me all of their business, but are just enough for me to help them, I'm still getting feedback from my personal friends that's going to let it all hang out. And I have personal experience owning trucks. I've been through 19, 20 trucks. It's a driver show. There ain't no driver in this America that has a CDL should be without work. They may not want to work because they don't want to go over the road. Or, huh?
People not paying.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem right now. If somebody ain't paying somebody enough, there's hundreds of companies out here that'll pay you. People are begging for drivers. I've been to an orientation one time. They had such a high driver turnover where they stopped paying for hotels or bought a hotel. The whole hotel was driver training. Driver training is every week, orientation. That's how many, they had Greyhound buses taking people down to Tennessee. So, having a CDL, if somebody ain't paying you enough, you go somewhere else. But right now, shouldn't nobody. When I started 10 years ago, drivers was making between $900 and $1,200 a week on the average, and you was getting like $1,500, $1,600 in the summer and the spring. But nowadays, you can work for a small company and make $2,000 a week. I've personally paid drivers $3,000, $3,300 a week. So the money is out there. It's just if you fucking with somebody that's doing bad business, just move on because it's other companies out there. You got a question? I don't deal with drivers no more at all because I don't like dealing with grown boys. I don't feel like I should have to manage a grown man to want to get some money. And I'm paying you as high as I can possibly can. And there's nobody else that you're going to find that's going to get you there. So, yeah. And so this is one of them cases of where you see if somebody was in a relationship and they get burnt real bad, then they go years without fucking with nobody. That's how I feel about trucking. I make more money by myself than a lot of these guys running around with these fleets. I did $518,000 last year. And y'all can look at it online. This is gross, mind you. So I don't want to portray that this is pocket money. But of that money, you're going to keep about half. Most people not going to do that because most people not going to make the sacrifices I did. Most people got too many attachments. I was watching this movie the other day called Heat, and he was talking about Don't never be attached to nothing. You can't leave 60 seconds and all this bullshit. But the point is, people got kids, people got girlfriends, wives, all of this shit that's keeping them home. That's why people don't want to go over the road. Being over the road is the hassle that causes the shortest because people want to go to work and go home. They don't want to be gone. I ain't been home since Christmas.
I'm over the road right now.
Right, but a lot of people don't want to do that. And after a while, that's going to get burnt out. So I've been out there 7 years. I did my first 6 years down the port. Now I'm phasing out of the road because I accomplished my goal, which is to travel and see the country. And I stopped in every state in the United States, and Hawaii and Arkansas, what is it, Alaska. You got to fly to, so I drove to the border and flew over, and I just saw Puerto Rico. So I'm done with the United States. I'm gonna knock out the islands and start going to different countries. But that's my own personal goal, and I'm able to do that because of the way that my personal life is set up. Most people that's not able to shut off everything. You just go out there. But the average person making $8,000 a week, that's $400 a year. If you bust it down, if you really just look at the numbers and say, okay, this is what I need to make in this amount of time to make this amount of dollars. Even if you run a local, if you got someone on the and you're doing $5,000 a week, that's $250 a year. That's not gonna be all profit, that's gross. However, what you'll take home in the week is going to be more than you would make in a month working in a job. That's why I'm so enthusiastic about it. Aside from the fact that I understand, I'm not here for everybody. As a select group of people that I'm here for, and those are the people that's forgotten about. You go to these guys, if you ain't about to break them off some bread, I ain't teaching y'all shit, but they still want to help people. But the people who really need the help is the people who don't have the money. That's why they need the help, because they're trying to get the money. That's why people is breaking the law. That's why people is popping locks on cars. That's why people, those is getting kicked in. That's why all of us from our generation ain't do nothing to spend half our life in jail, because we wanted money. But I figured out how to get all the shit that I wanted from the breaking law legally, and I'm broadcasting it to y'all to say, look, I get it. You wanted to get some shit. This was the most available option. Now, I figured out how to do it legally. I proved it by showing y'all my every move and every dollar. So now I'm showing y'all how to do it because I proved that it worked over a consistent amount of time. I was taught that you can't teach somebody something unless you can prove that it worked in your own life. So that's where I'm at with it. Next person.
My name is Jay from West Baltimore. Got my CDL in 05. I started my company in 13. I've had tractors and currently running dump trucks.
You had tractors and you went to dump trucks?
Yes.
Why you switched from tractors?
Couldn't find drivers, couldn't find when I got my
You
tractors,
made me throw up,
it was
though.
under shadow.
They told everybody all you had to do was buy a truck, generational wealth, passive income,
Correct.
and lay back. That's some bullshit. A truck without a driver is a gun without a bullet.
I got
It
dump
looks
trucks.
real shiny, and it's good to tell people, well, I got 6 trucks. Okay, what's your net?
Wheels ain't turning, you not earning.
Exactly. And you still got costs that don't go away. They're lying to you. So that's why I'm here to break the rod to y'all, because I got several reasons, but I'll get into that later on. But go ahead. You switched from tractors and went to
I
dump
had
trucks.
dump trucks first.
Right.
I got a tractor to offset the slow season.
Yeah, then you saw how much money you was making with the tractor.
The first 2 years was great.
Right. And then you said, all I gotta do is
If
duplicate
it rained in
myself.
3 months that I wanted to run, I was good. I could park the rest of the time.
Right.
When the recession hit, the rates went so low, it wasn't profitable. I sold the truck.
Well, that wasn't. I'm in no position to tell you what's right or wrong. From my part, with my experience, if you held off a little longer, because if you remember, not too long ago, rates was through the roof.
And they dropped.
You was having $50,000, $60,000 months with one truck. So you missed it in partaking in that. But also, a bad part of that is equipment got tight. So they raised prices. Trucks that was $20,000 was going for $70,000.
I paid $12,000 for my tractor.
Right, because
I paid
you.
$100,000 with it.
Right now, watch this. They went out and bought all these trucks at these sky high rates. Now rates have returned to normal. That's why people are crying, because they got in this trucking phase. They sold a course, a book, or whatever, and they rushed out and got into it when it was good. Rates came back to normal, which is what they are now. They're not bad. That's why my first book was How to Make $250,000 a Year with a criminal record and no college degree. It went to how to travel for free and make $400,000 to $500,000 during that time. Now we're back to normal. Now all these people are stuck with these overpriced trucks. And what's gonna happen is for y'all, it's a good thing. Because in 6 months to a year, all them people that bought all that shit, they ain't gonna be able to have it. They didn't know nothing from the beginning, and they got souped up and went and jumped in the market. So they gonna start returning those trucks. They gonna be getting repoed and all type of shit. The truck prices are gonna go low. They gonna go back to that. Remember I was just saying in the beginning, only 10 grand used to get you in the game. You need more than that. But it's gonna go back to that in a few. Once all these trucks start flooding the repo market, they're gonna have to sell them off at auction to get that money back. So truck prices, as a matter of fact, if you've been watching the truck prices, they're going down along with the rates. So the stuff that they're not telling y'all, if you hear people online crying, it's because they caught in a jam and they did this too fast, upgraded their life based on what the money was, and it changed. Now they got high personal cost of living. You understand? And now money is going back to what it used to be instead of what they based their life off of. And they can't hack it, and they getting rid of equipment, and they talking about trucking is dead and all this because they ain't know, and they had no way to know. But y'all got a way to know, and that's why I'm here. The next person.
All right, Nick, from East Baltimore. I'm a firefighter. I'm in CDL school right now.
What school you go to?
North American Trade School.
Okay, I used to teach up there.
When you came up there, obviously you came to my class a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, my son is up there. Hey, y'all had a truck come up missing up there, a red truck. It was a red truck on y'all range came up missing. I gave that to my son. He up there. He teaches diesel school. I'm gonna find who got it. Well, they probably don't know it's mine. Next person.
Yeah, my name is Dion.
Well, his, but I'm attached to it.
My name is Dion. I'm from Woodlawn. I drive for independent trucking company. Right now I'm kind of flagged for not driving, but at the same time I'm looking to get my own.
You say you flagged for not driving?
Yeah, somebody in PA got a ticket and they put it underneath me, so I gotta get my stuff written out from them so I can start driving.
Oh man. Well, they should have told you. They don't know who the person is because
the person is, but
right, but they know what truck it was.
it wasn't even for a truck, it was a regular traffic license.
What the fuck? You ain't get the tag number where you can trace it through NBA?
No, I gotta go through some stuff and pay I gotta go through a whole bunch of process to pay me for something somebody else does.
Yeah, I know how it is. I'd be hot about that. I had a mixed truck. I had a truck that was in the flood, and I switched the tag, and we got pulled. Well, I got pulled over, and instead of them taking the information I gave them, they went on the computer and put the old truck, and we straightened it out. But yeah, it'd be good. It's an inconvenience, though. I'm sorry to have to tell you, man. I hope you well, I don't hope you find it, 'cause I don't want to. I would be furious, and I'm not sure what I would do if I found the person. So I don't want to. Next person.
Jimmy from West Baltimore, owner operator.
You was in the barber shop. I was in there shooting the shit this morning. That's how I'm joking. That's how he found out about this though. Somebody was in the barber shop talking and told him, "That's good." We're in the conversation. What kind of work you do now? What kind of work you do?
Tractors.
Okay, so you got 2 tractors. What you doing with them?
I drive one. Just let the daycare sit for now.
There's a spare.
My son wanted, my son told me to get a CEO. He ain't pushing for it, so just let it sit.
Yeah, and you gotta be careful about that because people tend to not value what they didn't work for. So, as a man, it would feel real good to give it to him, and I understand that. But if you give it to him,
What's he?
I
He got it tagged up for him and everything, but he just don't want to get his license.
right, you gotta want it, and I'm telling you, I gave away a lot of stuff in my life, and people don't value it as much as they did work for it. Next person.
My name's Daniel. I'm from DC. I live in Baltimore for like 10 years. Right now I'm driving
You
for.
been doing what for 10 years?
I live in Baltimore for 10 years now.
Okay.
Right now I'm driving for public services. And I'm looking to, into the field for it.
You in Baltimore City?
Yeah.
Man, you left some trash and jumped in the dumpster. Not calling Baltimore a dumpster, I'm using that as an analogy.
I grew up in Southeast, so it's just about the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What brought you to Baltimore?
Man, I'm gonna say this. I was at Oak Hill when I was as a juvenile, and then somehow some way my father got to the judge and shit. And he was living up there. He ended up dying, so I just stayed up there.
Stayed up here.
Yeah, just to change my life when I was there.
Yeah, on one instance, this is and I talked about this the other day. See, when you used to something, you normally stay with what you used to. So if you live here all your life, you're gonna frequent them same bad areas. But if you actually step outside the city and look at it as an outsider, we actually got a lot to offer here. We got two.
I mean, it's a lot of money in Baltimore.
Right, but it all depends on what side of the tracks you put yourself on. So earlier when I was talking about the energy and being mindful of who you associate with, where you go and all that stuff. So keep going back around the way, that shit drains you. You got love for your homeboys and family and all that, and even some past relationships, that shit will drain you backwards. And it takes some time of separation. That's why a lot of times when you go to prison and you get out, you be a little fresher and sharper in the beginning, but once you start going back around the way, all that shit dissipates. So it's not where you're from, so you're not gonna have the same personal attachment. So it's a good thing because the hard ties aren't there. Even though this environment ain't the best, but you don't have as much of a connection as you would have had back home. That would be as much of an influence over you to make you want to go back. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
That's what's up, man. Thanks for coming. Who was next? Nah, we coming over here now. We done got there.
Hey, my name's Antoine from West Baltimore. I drive for like a somewhat big company now, and I'm just trying to get in for myself.
What company you drive for?
DM Bowling.
Yeah. How long you been driving?
Williamsport.
I said, how long?
I've only been driving for like 3 months.
All right, cool. So you just getting started. That's what's up. Hey, you getting a head start.
Yeah, I'm trying to build my money up so I can go on my own.
And I'm gonna show you a way in a minute that you can do that. You can speed it up without money. It's gonna depend on your home situation, but I'm gonna show you nevertheless. Who's next?
My name is Ken. I'm South Baltimore. Been driving for 3.5 years. Currently I work for PPC Logistics.
Yeah.
Driving for that month. Just call out and I'm just trying to lock in and do my own thing.
Okay. How long you been driving, you said?
3.5.
Okay. And brother with the hoodie on, I never suggest somebody go buy a truck as soon as they start driving. I always say give it 3 to 6 months. So you pass that point. Because you actually know how to drive the truck. So we're going to get into it. We're going to see if we can speed past you. Because all this stuff really at the most only take 18 months. You can actually do it in 60 days if you're willing to give up every single thing. I did it. I got knocked down to 0 before. And because of the information I knew, I was getting $13.50 a week. And I got rid of everything I owned. I was living in a condo downtown Dallas, and I had 2 brand new cars. I got rid of them, took them back, voluntary repossession. I packed my spot up and put everything in storage, so that reduced my cost of living down to 2 things: the phone bill and the storage. Then I worked for the company I was working for 2 months, saved up, activated my authority, got the truck and the trailer. I saved $24,000 in 3 months after that. So it could be done faster, but it all depends on your level of sacrifice, what you willing to give up. But at the very most, it shouldn't take you no more than 18 months to get all the way to the 3rd level. Who's next?
My name's Will. I'm from Baltimore. I come from all that nothing. So I'm grateful to get
But let me ask you, congratulations on your marriage too. Let me ask you something. What you mean when you say you came from it all to nothing?
I'm a street kid.
Right. That's what I gathered. So what kind of work, if any, you got as far as experience or business wise?
I had a ball shop, hoop line, roadside. I got married.
You had roadside, like maintenance, like mechanics.
Yeah, doing lockouts, I also with the tow truck. I could have got into State Farm Insurance, the whole Geico and all that.
Right.
But about me being married, you know, having added stepchildren, taking care of my nieces and stuff like that, still doing what I'm doing. You know, I get sidetracked because I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do, but I ain't do it. You know, then you go through problems in the marriage, you know, you get depressed, you stop hanging in the streets, you know, the wife beat you down because when you keep on doing this. So,
Yeah, I know. See, that's what we were just talking about a little while ago, where you hang at, how it drains you backwards. That's exactly what it did. It only take one false move, and not even going into religion, because everybody has different backgrounds, but just in general, temptation don't never come. Let me plug this up. Temptation don't never come ugly. It always comes dressed up as something fancy that you like, and that's why you gotta be careful and stay away. But we're gonna get into it. Like I said, I was talking to them earlier. When trials and tribulations come, it always comes right before you make the next threshold. But it always comes at the most inconvenient time.
well, mine's like the hood. I've been, you know, stop hanging in the hood, stuff like that. I was always, since I've been married, you know, a home fire. My thing was separate myself from the streets. Period.
Right. Well, you ain't gotta be outside to be in the hood.
Yeah, trying to do, you know, trying to get a job. Ain't nobody hiring me, you know. That's why I always try to get out here and do things on my own. But I always did things backdoor, you know, get a building that somebody else owns, and then when something don't go right, I'm asked how I put all the money up. You know
Yeah, I could dig it. But see, when you say when nobody hire you, when you making the change, right? You ever hear somebody say you can't outslick a can of oil? Old saying, I'm not saying this is what you're doing. What I'm saying is God need hearts, and when He see that you serious, you should have started opening up. I got any of the old school drugs you can think of. They in all this stuff now. I don't know what they got going on. All that stuff back then, I've been locked up for all of it. I've been locked up by the Secret Service. Something I used to manufacture counterfeit money. They boxed me in coming out of the hotel. Attempt murders. All this stuff on my record, and I still have never not had a job because of the CDL. So one thing about a lot of different businesses, a lot of business owners don't really be telling people that just because you're in business don't mean it's so lucrative, especially in the beginning. I'm not saying you wasn't making money. Well, I'm trying to make the analogy of trucking is one of the fastest cash on cash returns. I done dealt with people who was in the real estate that was retired as far as physically working. Got, you know, multiple rental properties. And then I help them get one truck. And they make more money cash on cash per month than it take them for all of them. I mean, you gotta think about it. One rental house, let's say you went the finance route and you charging somebody $1,200 a month. And you got finance property, you pay $800, you coming out with $400. So what happened when they break a toilet or something? You spend $200. I'm just throwing numbers out there. Now you're down to $200 profit. It's going to take you 10 months to make $2,000. And that's if you don't got a slickster that know how to work the system. They can get 6 months out you rent free if they know what they're doing. And leave and fuck the property up, spending more money. A lot of people be having businesses being negative. I'll be telling y'all that. But trucking is a way that you can make thousands of dollars per week. If you make $8,000 to $12,000 a week, you should be keeping in your pocket between $4,000 to $7,000, depending on the month and depending on the truck, how your maintenance is going, and also how you run and where you run, depending on your fuel costs and all. If you running regional, reasonable local, and you're only doing $5,000-7,000 a week, you should be keeping anywhere between $2,500 to $4,000 in your pocket, just pre-tax. But this is what you'll be seeing. So trucking, that's why I market the drug dealers and criminals, because that's what my background is. But trucking allows you a way to keep thousands of dollars in your pocket, and you still get that rush from the hustle, but you don't get the consequences from that game. You see what I'm saying? So I just come to solve the problem. You ever hear somebody get locked up? Man, I had to do what I had to do. No, you did what you wanted to do. Now you calling up town, convincing somebody to put the house up to get you out on bail, and you convincing everybody that shit ain't yours, but they found it in your pocket. Ain't nobody never guilty when they get locked up. So it's always the police did something or something. I'm coming from a criminal background, so I'm not bashing criminals. I'm just trying to get out the real. And see, this is what happens, and it doesn't have to happen, because there's different ways to make money out here, and that's what I'm showing y'all. But that's what's up, man. This is the beginning. All of us are gonna be dealing with each other for years to come on. I got people I've been dealing with for years that call me from time to time to have issues, and I walk them through it. And if I can't help them because I've never been through it or I don't have the answer, I either tell them I don't know or I refer them to somebody who does. I'm not a mechanic. A lot of people call me with mechanical issues. If it's not something that I've personally been through before, I can't troubleshoot somebody's truck from the phone if I'm not there. I can tell you I've been through this before, this is what it could be, but I'm not a mechanic. But as far as all the other stuff, I can help in many different ways. All right, who's next?
My name is Sylvia. I'm from West Baltimore. Right now I drive like a mix of concrete truck.
Okay. You down off of Monument Street?
No, down Curtis Bay.
Okay. So you got a Class B?
I had my A's.
Okay, what made you want to start with the concrete?
Looking for jobs with your A's, they wanted you to have experience. And right now I can't go over the road.
How long you had your license?
I had my license since August, but I started driving in October.
Okay. Well, a lot of things that eased up. See, when I started in 2010, you had to have 2 years experience back then, and they wasn't budging off of that. So, and then the only gateway would be to work for somebody with a couple of trucks that'll hire you because they need a driver. So that's how I got started. My first job wasn't a tractor. It was a construction company that used to put up light poles. I did that for 9 months to gain experience because I was on the box. I couldn't leave the state even if I wanted to. Back then, now trucking is a thing, and they writing letters, people, POs is writing letters for them to be able to leave the state. Then after I proved that I could drive, I got a job for somebody. Your best bet would probably be to start looking for some smaller private company, people that got 4 or 5 trucks, because they drivers be constantly coming and leaving, and they more willing to give a shot on you. You know how, are they automatics or they got clutches?
Some automatic, some got clutches.
But you know how to drive the clutch?
No.
Okay, that may be where your issue is, that manual portion. Do you have the manual on your license?
No. I have a restriction on there.
Right, so that's the problem you're running into. I'll upgrade my license and get that stick on that.
But the company I work for now, like they teaching me how to shift and all that stuff so I can get it lifted.
Right, you're gonna need that because automatics are fairly new. They're not new, but they're fairly new. So most people with independent trucking companies don't have automatics. They got sticks because most older trucks are sticks. So a lot of people ain't gonna be able to really do nothing with you, or they gonna take the risk of you getting in there and burning their clutch up, or messing their transmission up. So a lot of independents can't really hack that. But we're gonna talk more about that in a few. I just wanted to get through everything, and I hope y'all paying attention to who these people are on here, because that could be your next driver. You see what I'm saying? She already know how to maneuver a vehicle. The other guy could be your next driver. She just needs to know how to do the clutch. Or you might have automatic. I don't know. I know people with automatics, and I personally had one. So the people that's in here all here to benefit each other. This is not the Sean show where I'm just giving y'all a bunch of information and I'm truck almighty. No, the benefit to seminars and stuff like this is the people that you meet there. It's nothing that you're gonna learn in any seminar from whoever. I spent tens of thousands of dollars in the self-help chitlin circuit. I was a self-help junkie once I learned. As a matter of fact, I was in prison and I was in the library and I walked and there was a book called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun by Reginald Lewis. And I was like, well, that's a good question. So I picked the book up and I read it, and then that's what sparked my self-help journey, along with they conned me into going to a church service because people from outside was coming with unlimited cookies and coffee. So I went up there and then they gave me a Bible that had a year study program. I sat and read the whole Bible from cover to cover along with these self-help books. Then I got out and I started going to these events and paying these people before it was how it is now. So this is a new thing. I'm trying to put y'all hip to the game so y'all don't go out and spend all this money. We're gonna do one technique, but it's gonna stop you from having to go to these seminars and buy all these books. And it's only gonna take us like 3-4 minutes. Because all this stuff is good to know, but it really starts from the bed. But we're gonna get into it in a few. I want to get through everybody. Who's next?
Ray and Jim Foster.
What you said?
Ray and Jim.
Oh, y'all a team together. Okay.
Alright,
How long you been married?
So 5.
Yeah, y'all old school. No, these people.
I was born and raised in DC.
Right.
Met her, she from Baltimore, came up with it. We got 2 trucks. She runs the board. We're currently, my truck is down.
I know how it is. We're gonna talk about that in a minute, but I know how it is. That's the life of the trucking. If people think when you own the truck, you off when the load done. No sir.
You have to know the right people of who you're dealing with, because once you deal with the wrong person, it takes you down.
As far as on the mechanics?
Yes.
Yeah, I already know. I had 3 mechanics come out yesterday. 3 on the same issue. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But it's good that you got another truck. Both of y'all got CDLs? Well, yeah, because you said she worked for y'all on the operators, or you got your own authority?
Owner operator, LLC.
Right, so the last phase here is what's going to skyrocket you, especially because it's 2 of y'all.
Right.
So y'all see the loads that I do by myself, then imagine what 2 people doing it, but you just gotta be willing to go out. I mean, y'all can make 700, 750 in the year. You gonna have to run, but you can do it. The 2 of y'all together. And I don't know, I'm not saying you haven't run teams together, but people think when you run teams, the truck run non-stop. In theory it does, but in reality, people are human beings and they social creatures. So you gotta be extremely disciplined in order to separate your times. Because a lot of times people run teams and like to stay up with each other. Not saying y'all, I'm speaking in general to all of y'all. And that cuts down on the time. And then when it's your time to drive, now halfway through your shift, you tired. Now I'm risking my life because your bloodshot falling over and it's the middle of the night because you want your favorite song was on. You see what I'm saying? So I ran teams before. I've trained people. I did, most of this stuff I did. So I'm speaking from experience. So you gotta know how to shut it off, because other than that, you're gonna find yourself, instead of getting 24 hours, which you're not gonna get, you're gonna get 20 to 22 hours of drive time out of the truck, because people gotta eat, people gotta use the bathroom, you gotta fuel up, all of this. You're not gonna get 24 hours. It's not gonna happen. And then the human body has a breaking point. So there's some time where you're gonna have to shut it down to get a power nap and then get back into it. See what I'm saying? So, but that's good that y'all have a truck and that y'all drive. Y'all need the authority and you need a trailer.
Well, we started off driving team.
Right.
And,
doing containers?
No, we started off driving team, US Express.
Y'all was company drivers.
Company.
Right.
But we got our own, she got her own truck, I got mine.
Right.
Alright, and so
Yeah, that's
Right.
what.
She does containers. Right now, my truck's in the shop. I get the transmission for that. So I'm working for a temp job right now. Until I get my truck back.
Yeah, I know how it is. Well, I got a buddy at US Express right now. I don't know what they was doing back in the day, but right now they paying. I know he did like $2,500 for a week. And then also a lot of these companies got these lease purchase programs that we're gonna talk about in a minute. They walk away leases, and a lot of them got these high sign-on bonuses, especially for teams. So if you're willing to do it, you can sign up with them, get in there, no money down, lease, run as teams, and get the bread up and get that bonus, and then roll out when it's time. Then that'll be a boost. But that's a decision for y'all to make. I'm just here to get out the information. But that is an option that can get you back. And it's gonna be rough with daycare, especially running teams and reporting. I started there reporting. Y'all don't really make that much money in reporting. I'm not saying y'all not making money. I'm saying you can make a living off the port, but it doesn't compare to you having your own truck and trailer and your dollar. If you making $2,500, $3,000 a week, then you do your fuel and all that. You can make a decent living, home every night, on the weekends. But it's not. It's more out there. Let me just say that. But we're gonna talk about all that when we get in that. This is the first portion of the next person.
My name is Queen. I'm from Maryland.
You said Alice Queen?
My name is Queenie. I'm from Maryland.
Okay, how you doing?
Hi, everybody. I have a Class A, no
Okay.
restrictions. This is my husband. We have a truck. It's a sleeper. We are in the process, so I have to eat, iron and all that. We're in the process of putting it on the road once we get a few more mechanical things fixed. But we're just trying to learn. We did flatbed
Right.
with Western Express for a very short period of time.
You did it, so you don't do it no more.
Exactly.
Y'all didn't like flatbed?
No, we love flatbed, and we're going to do flatbed in ours. We just didn't enjoy it with Western Express.
Right, that's good that y'all going on flatbed.
Yeah, so I watch you, follow you online. You always give out good information, so we felt like it would be a good idea to come today.
All right, that's what's up. I'm glad y'all came. If y'all notice, I haven't been showing as much information lately, have I? Right, because I've been showing y'all my every dollar since 2018. I think I've showed y'all from my life, real stuff. I've shown y'all theory from the actual load board day in and day out. And so we live in skeptical times, and we got a lot of people pretending to be things that they're not in order to fleece people out of their money. So it's like we had a guy here earlier. He said, "Well, I just came to see if you were bluffing or not." And he ain't said it in that way, but that's what it was getting at. He was like, "Is this real or not?" And you got so many fraudsters out here. So I'm glad y'all came. Your name?
My name is Rod.
Man, you gonna let your wife talk for you, man? You ain't see how old school did it? I'm the daddy.
Sorry.
Come on, man, you gotta speak up and lead this thing, man. Come on now. I talked to them earlier about this, and trucking is changing. The face of trucking is changing. It was a male sport. It's becoming a female sport, and it's because, I'm not saying it's about you, I'm talking in general. We don't have enough men out of the amount of males that's out here stepping up, and they gonna fall behind the plate just because you got gentlemen. That don't make you a man. So I'm not saying it's about you. I'm speaking in general. If you see the faces changing, which is a good thing. I like females in anything that's making money because there's not enough people out here standing up to the plate, and the majority of the time, the females just left. Somebody explain this to me. How can a female have 3, 4 kids, work a full-time job, go to school part-time, go to church, clean the house, cook, and do all this, but you telling me your dusty ass can't get a job, first base? Get the fuck out of here. So it's fucked up out here, and I understand why things are going the way they're going. I don't think it should be like that, but it is. That's the reality of it. But that wasn't directed towards you. You ever hear somebody say soaking up game? Right, well, I talked about the pimps earlier. I spent a lot of time with them. And They're some of the smartest individuals in the world. Look past the dress. That's to throw you off to how intelligent they are. Game is spilled. That's why they say soaking up game. It's not giving. It comes out in casual conversation. I can give y'all all the books in the world, but the stuff that's going to come out in conversation that's not going to be present or applicable to paper because it's specifically suited for the time and what's happening right at that moment and to the individual. So you'll learn things as you talk to people, and you just got to have an eye and your mind open and your ear, pay attention and learn how to translate information because truths, basic truths never change. So I call, like when you do an application, they say what transferable skills you have. So information is transferable. So something from a scenario over here can be related to something else. And because it's founded on that basic truth, you can make sense out of it and apply it to the situation. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Marco. I'm from DC. And this one like T right here. Yeah, I like pretty much.
There you go, man. Own it.
Yeah.
Come on, mister.
Yeah.
That's my fault. I like to talk.
Yeah, ain't your fault. I'm just saying. Just we all. I'm 37. I was born in 1985. The majority of my generation were fatherless. So we grew up trying to learn how to be something that we never seen in our life. Then you with friends raising each other. So it's blind leading the blind, and you're figuring it out as you're going because there's no example placed in front of you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you any less of a man. I'm speaking to everybody because this is what's happening right now. So and then you got generation after generation after generation of that. Now you got today, what's this, Gen Z's, Gen S or I or whatever, right, and they wearing purses. And we wonder why there's a bunch of sissies running around. No offense to nobody, but that's why. Because they sitting around playing with fucking makeup.
So, yeah, this is my wife too. We had a license pretty much for a year. Like she said, we go West Express for a few months, whatever the case may be. We currently got a school bus right now until we got fully activated.
A school bus?
Yeah.
With kids?
Yeah.
You like it?
That's just something we do right now until we get out, get our bus, get our track and screen.
Well, what kind of free time you got?
During the day?
Nah, during the weekends and nights.
Pretty much weekends are free.
Try this. I'm in no position to tell you what to do. I can give you the information. It's up to you whether you want to do it. Because you're a grown man. Look up every single limousine company, party bus company, and chauffeur company, and get hired at all of them. The way they work is Wednesday they'll call and say, hey, you free this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll give you the job if you want it. If you don't want it, you don't take it.
Yeah.
I drove limousine and party buses for 7 years on the weekends before I got my own.
Okay.
And that's an extra 4 to 700 a weekend, depending on what kind of job you're doing and whether you work both Saturday and Sunday, or if you do 2 jobs, Saturday morning, Saturday night, and you bus a Friday or bus a Sunday. You see what I'm saying? And there's no obligation, and you can get hired with as many of them as possible. And because you got that chauffeur, a person with a passenger can't drive a school bus. A person, because the P endorsement is different from the school bus.
Yeah.
But the school bus, with the passenger, you can drive the other stuff. You just can't do it the other way around.
Yeah.
That's extra money right there, and it speeds you up the way you're trying to go.
Okay.
And both of y'all can do it. And I'm telling you, I did this. It's delivery business.
Mm-hmm.
Chauffeurs. It's on call. You get tips. You never know how big a tip gonna be. I got $1,005 one time. I did a women's rally in DC on a coach bus. All of them passed the envelope around and gave it to me. Aside from what I was getting paid.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Take your mask off.
My name T-Bone from East Baltimore.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
My name is Toya. I'm from East Baltimore. I drive for an independent company
long you been driving?
5 years.
Right, you well past. When did you get the idea to want your own truck?
Working to the job I work
I'm
for.
saying when? How long ago?
Probably the end of last year, like December.
How long ago you found about what I did?
I was following you since mid last year, and you know the information.
Why you ain't called me?
Um,
Man, you should have called me. Well, who's next? What, but you here now,
I'm here now.
so we want to speed the process up.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for.
Who said?
My name Tavon from East Baltimore. I had just started my own business. I'm trying to pick up more information for with my EIN number, right? Spent a lot of time in prison, though it's been closing on me, so I'm just trying to look for myself.
How long you been home?
February 4th, next month, 3 years, I guess. That's my last probation.
What you mean when you say doors been closed?
Oh, it's like different jobs been applying for them. They always say something about experience. I'm like, I'm just trying to my own.
You got the license now?
Yeah, I got my A's right now.
And ain't nobody hiring?
And I had my B's before that.
Okay, you just upgraded.
Yeah, I upgraded to the A.
Right, so what you need to do, excuse me, what people have done, I don't want to tell you to do anything wrong. The company you was running with the B's, did they have 8 trucks?
No, I was driving for a company you ain't even need your CDLs. But the company I was applying for, different like jobs, for my B's, ain't nobody hiring me.
But did they actually have any 8 trucks there?
No.
Okay.
It's like cement trucks, stuff like that.
Right, so that's what she doing back there. You gonna need to find one of these guys in here. Can you drive a manual?
I can, but I got upgrade, cause I know how to drive with it for real, but I got upgrade. I already got the school to upgrade and all that stuff.
Yeah, see, and I hate that they did that. That's why I started training in person, because I was working at the school, making use of my time, and I saw everybody was trying to take the easy way out, and I would take them and change their mind by pushing, like you put somebody in the pool, they know how to swim. So it's not really easier. These schools don't have people who really, well, life in general don't have that many people that really care no more. Everybody's trying to make it. So a lot of these schools, they had too many students. There's not enough teachers and there's not enough equipment. So people not learning. This is something I can show you how to do it in one day, in less than 3 hours. But I don't think they ever should have started doing it, because then it put people in the jam that they don't know what's coming. Like how back there. Nobody with a CDL should not be working unless you have limitations. That's a limitation. But you're on the right path. You're in. You got the school to get it, and once you get it, a lot of that stuff will change.
And they come with experience from the school, like you said. I ain't had that much experience on the road. Then I go take the test, and I fail. Or the instructor tell me like you take the manual or the automatic. He said, I don't think you're going to take them the automatic or pass it for real. So I took them the automatic. Or passing the manual, so I took them the automatic. Whole time the instructor he was talking about was somebody different, so I ended up just taking the manual. It's crazy.
Why you just try until you get it again? I failed my first permit test. I failed it twice. I failed my first driving test. The pre-trip is what mostly get people. And as long as you don't sit there and can't get it in the gear, if you grind the gears a little bit, that'll still pass you. But if you making a turn and you can't get in the gear, you panic, that's a fail, right? Starting up, that's an automatic fail. But I'm about to start training back again, and I do private one-on-one trainings. So I solved that problem I saw in school by starting training personally. So what I do is more like if you got a kid in school and you get a tutor, or somebody playing on a sport team and you pay for a one-on-one, say an ex-ball player, and you pay for one-on-one. That's what I do, because you'll get more out of 1 3-hour session than you do standing around for 5 hours and you only got 20 minutes of burn, because it's not enough time or teachers or equipment. So a lot of the time people there are teaching themselves, a lot of the students is teaching each other. All right, next person.
My name is Rod. I'm from West Baltimore. I had my license since like 2016. I'm a company driver.
Since 2016?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a little bit.
I'm a company driver. Came here because I'm ready to start my own business. I got most of the steps down. I just, came just to hear everything, just to meet people, stuff like that.
Alright, well, cool. That's what's up. What, you say you drive for who?
I'm driving for a company called Headwater Leasing.
Yeah.
I'm running cans from Crown in Aberdeen up to Queens, New York every day.
Okay, so you can drive for real.
Yeah, I drive.
Yeah, you going in them barrels. That's not, yeah. Right. I recognize your face from the thing. No, yeah. So yeah, that's real good experience. A lot of people hate going in New York, but I was just in New York.
Yeah,
Friday.
It's crazy up there, man.
Yeah, it's it'll make a drive out of New York and DC. Yeah, that's what it is.
But you can still go in there.
Well, that's a lie. I personally think they do that because some of that place snow. And I think some of the places measure from the curb up. Because you go through it and they say 12.6, but everything is going through it. Right. So that makes it. Right. Who's next?
My name is Shy. I'm from Baltimore. Right now, I currently work under an independent company. It's a small company, only like 6-7 trucks, 10 drivers.
That's good.
I had my license since 2016. I started off working for CRA, and I basically did my training. I came home. I started working for the city for like 4 years. Then now I just got back into the tractor trailer game, so that's where I'm at now.
You got the free CDL?
I'm sorry.
From the company training?
Yeah. I went to Utah and got my license, and I got the experience and everything, like driving over.
You stayed with them throughout the whole term that you were supposed to?
Not the whole time.
Did they charge you back?
Yeah. I had already paid all the money back.
How much they charge you?
$6 grand. Paid them all. But I did that over 4 years. I wasn't driving. Because I also did mechanical work too. So I was working for the city as a sanitation worker, driving dump trucks and stuff. Then I switched over to the fleet department, working as a mechanic.
So you fix trucks too?
Yeah.
Are you nice? Don't laugh, because that means no. Nah, I'm saying, because you don't want nobody. I'm telling you, man, you know how many people is in here?
I'm going to say this. I'm not like a professional mechanic. Like, I mostly do like the maintenance, like the oil change.
Okay, so we ain't gonna put it out there because I don't want to put nobody in the bind. Jazzy young lady right here.
Hey, I'm V. I have my own authority. I own my own trucks. I'm looking for some drivers. My thing is, I own my 3 nights and my friend has 10.
Say it again?
I said I own my 3 and my friend has 10. I have my own authority. I have a class A.
So you drive as well?
One day a week, one weekend. But I'm
You got a
supposed to
sweet run.
Yeah, so a sweet run, just so my drivers understand I know what's going on out there. So when I started the company, it'll be 3 years, just before the pandemic. I didn't have a class A, and my expectation was too great. I was told by my mentor, I got a great mentor.
Your expectations was too great?
Yeah, he said,
what did you
I'm
expect?
giving people, shit, I figured you was just going to take care of my truck like I would take care of it. I just figured, I thought all those things.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I thought all those things, and so I could understand what was going on. I went to CDL school myself. I went out to Wisconsin. I stayed out there for a month. 7 below 0. I went to I was in Chicago. So I got the feel of it, and I know what's going on. So that's why I got out there to do it. And I said I would be my backup driver. So my issue with drivers is, like he still think my expectation is too great. I come
Who's
from
your mentor?
I ain't gonna throw no names out there, but
Somebody you paid?
no, I had to pay him because he came from a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to pay him, but that's what happened. So I'm quick to kind of let drivers go.
Right.
Because I feel like it's my, like we in it to make money too. Like I'm a small company, and I feel like they treat me that way because you're not gonna not show up for work. If you work at a big company, you're gonna get fired. You know what I mean? So me, they think they just gonna have a load on their back and they gonna just call. You know what I mean? Just not gonna show up.
Well,
so that's what happened.
If you see the CDL's number one on here, and we're gonna get into all this is the meat and gravy right here, but this is more important. This and the question and answer at the end because y'all need to know who y'all are. So she's like, how many? You said 3, and Frank got 10.
Yeah, I own my own 3, and he got 10. I got my
Right.
own authority.
So y'all 2 came together.
No, I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, you pointed to him.
No, I ain't pointing at him.
You make hand
Oh,
gestures, so I thought you was
yeah.
pointing to him.
Okay, yeah.
So you, what I got thousands of people call you be what I consider a top dog. So I categorize people as they coming in so I can understand what level they're at so I can see how I can best assist them. So where y'all are trying to get to is where she's at so you can understand why I don't want you to go there. Y'all follow me? I was talking about them selling this dream to y'all. This shit is bullshit. There is a lot of money in trucking, and it's never going anywhere. We live in America. America is a capitalistic society that's based on transactions, buying and selling. Everything that's bought and sold has to be shipped. You can get it in the country by a plane or a boat. You can get it across the country on a train or a plane. But in order to get to the end consumer, it has to get to a warehouse and get distributed either by trailer to a smaller storefront or Walmart or wherever, or a box truck. But a box truck is just a partial load of a full trailer. Trucking ain't going nowhere. There's money in trucking, but if you do not have a driver, it means nothing. And that's the part people not telling you. Drivers come in and out. This is what happens. You get your CDL. Thank you, Rich, for a minute, because you double what you was making in the warehouse or whatever job you got. Then you got a buddy, your homegirl, who got a truck. They tell you you made X amount of $1,000. I have to close that door. You made X. Can somebody close the door for me? Thank you. You make X amount of $1,000, and it's going good. You do that for 6, 7 weeks, 6 months, and then you're like, well, shit. If this is what I'm making, imagine what I can make if I get another truck. Because you're under the impression of duplicating yourself. That's false. This is what you gross. Nobody is ever going to work as hard for you as you are. So your gross is down here. But nobody cares about your business like you. So your maintenance comes here when it was down here. So you gross less, it costs you more, which leaves you a little slither of money left. And it looks like you're making all this money and it's coming in the front door and it's leaving out the window. I done had $130,000 months consecutively running fleets. That's not our profit. I'll make more money with one truck. Excuse me. I will keep more. You'll make more with a handful of trucks. But what's left after all of that? I make more with one truck. And this is one of the things, like when you're dealing with teenagers, or when you're raising children, not calling y'all children, I understand this clearly. When you've been through something and you try to advise somebody of what's to come, and everybody thinks that they figured something new out. And you only learn it by going through it yourself. So most of y'all not gonna listen to this part. You still believe in the fleets and all this, and you know somebody that got a handful of trucks and they look like they living this wonderful life, and they could be. But you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I got thousands of people calling me. Big dogs call me. I'm telling you, with their problems, not just for general talk. And you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Instagram. So, hey Frank.
So, bro, did you send it to me?
Yeah, this service is a little off. I don't know if you can see this. I was trying to call you back to try to get you in. You got the class here so you can get into it a little bit. If you got anything coming down, just hang up or whatever. Oh man, you on there? I gotta let you go, bro. You hooking up? I'm trying to get you in on some game. But the point is, it's not what it look like. All right. So save yourself some money, some time, and some headache. I'd have been through 19, 20 trucks. Can you make money with trucks? Yes. Are there people who have fleets that make money? Yes. You're going to have to pass that 7 to 12 threshold. That's a sweet spot. That's what it's going to take to replace you as a driver. What you make and keep and take home, it's going to take 7 to 12 trucks staffed. You're not going to be fully staffed. That's why we was talking about homeboy back there. They got more drivers than trucks. That's awesome. That's an exception to the rule. That ain't the rule. Most people is, I'm talking $130,000 a month with 4 trucks running out of 7 with an overhead of $5,000, $6,000 per truck. On them other 3, $15,000, $18,000 that still got to come out whether they running or not. And it doesn't matter whether you get newer trucks. It don't matter if you pay people more. It's some things you got to find out the hard way. If you pay people it's a such thing as paying people too much. So if you pay somebody too much and they not used to having money, they gonna all of a sudden start thinking they rich. And that money that you just paid them, they gonna find stuff to do with it. Now they wanna go on vacation. Now this person was a drug addict and you ain't even know. This Monday morning, they in the hotel geeked out their mind. And you call them, they ain't answering the phone. They got whores in there, excuse my language. You know, now all of a sudden, you Big Willie just because you made $2,000 and now you want to go to whatever island because some girl that ticked you under your chin. And, you know, so this is what happens when you pay people too much. I had drivers making $3,000 a week, $3,300, $2,800 on a consistent basis. And what will happen is, if you are lucky and find a really good driver, they're working really, really hard because they're trying to get a truck really, really bad. And once they get enough money, they're gone. So count your days. Drivers have a high turnover. So if you want to go out there and deal with drivers, that's cool. Or if you don't have a choice, if you can't drive, do your thing. But what she was talking about, don't have such high expectations like your mentor.
Yeah, he told me, because I just think like, I just expect too much. Like for instance, we got flatbed and I bought my equipment too. Back when the prices wasn't terribly expensive, high but not terrible. How they started being.
Well, and I'm gonna talk about. Did I talk about that with y'all? Was that earlier?
The prices started to come back
they gonna start. They gonna go lower than that. It's gonna be. See, everybody complaining about rates right now, but they neglecting the fact that everything has markets. Real estate got buyers and sellers market. Stocks got a bull and a bad market. What's going to happen is when all them trucks start flooding back, trucks is going to be even lower than they was.
It was overpriced. It was crazy in 21 and 22.
But then, see, everything is in supply and demand. So then you're going to have a bunch of more people buying trucks, such as yourselves. Then you're going to have more drivers out here willing to take loads. The more something you have, the less value it has. That's why real authentic men are so valuable. You can find one. So rates are it's going to be a game. All right, it's going to be going up and down.
Like I said, when I talked to the CEO, like I made some calls to like TQL, JB Hunt. I got some contracts with them, and they saying
you got contracts with them, or you use them as brokers?
Well, I got in to get a contract with them, and they saying it won't be until the summer. They saying that the summer the rate should go back up. They said they should. Actually, he said he was going to drop again coming up.
That's what I was just saying. It's going to be a game.
Then it was going to come back up.
Right, but then there's also, see, they're looking at regular market projections, but and that's correct information. But the part that people don't know how it's going to affect everything is when all these trucks flood.
Yeah.
Because you got a couple things. You got all these companies that bought all these brand new trucks that come in every year. and they couldn't get chips for them.
Yep.
So people couldn't even buy brand new trucks, or they was on waiting list. Brand new trucks used to be 120, 125,000. They're 200 grand now. So along with all these used trucks coming back into the market, you're gonna have all of these brand new trucks with no miles that are used trucks now back on the market. So you're gonna have it coming from the bottom and the top, and it's gonna flood the sales market. Then you're gonna start seeing all these gimmicky sales pitches, which is good. My first truck, I went to River City, Michigan. They had a program, $2,000 down. They pay for your plane and your hotel up to $500. I sent them $2 grand, went out there, got a truck. I went back and got 3 more for them. By the time I was on 3, I had no money down. Trucks moving forward. So those days are gonna come back, and so it's good that y'all get this information early, because they gonna have to do something with this equipment. And salespeople are gonna do what they do best. They gonna sell.
I bought a KW, a 16 KW last year in Wisconsin, and they paid for my flight.
Right.
It was 60,000. It was 70, but we negotiated and they gave it to me. They said, "When can you come?" I said, "This week." They paid for my flight there and back.
Right.
And I got to 60.
That's what's up. And we're gonna have more discussion. So right now it's for everybody to understand who's in here. So y'all, that's like I was just telling somebody from the group earlier. Nobody in here is going to be who they are today next year. You don't know who people are going to become, or who they already are. Most of the time, it's not the flashiest person. I'm not talking about you directly. I'm spilling games so people can soak it up. It's normally the most quietest person, most off, aloof, to they self person that got the most shit going on. And you'll never know. It's not the ones that you think. But the point is, you don't know who's in this room or who they're going to become in the years to come. You don't know who you're going to become. So try your best to treat people the best you can, be helpful to people, because you never know where a genuine, thoughtful favor can come back. And it's a saying, you always reap what you sow, but you don't always reap where you sow. So don't do stuff to get stuff from people. Do stuff because it's the right thing to do. And somewhere along the line, life pays people back in different ways, and it's not always from the same place that you think it's coming from.
One last thing, I'm gonna tell you, in my experience, the owner-operators I met have been the best group of people. It's like a brotherhood. Those guys, where I'm at up here in North Point, they all help each other out. We borrowed trucks, trailers. Like, I met some really good people. They was all owner-operators because we all need help. Right. Nobody can, in this field, what we got going on, nobody can do it alone. We all need help. Like, even mechanics, you get a good mechanic, you pass them along. You know, who got tires, who got this, who got that, and it's a real good.
And other stuff that we're not going to talk about on camera. We talked about stuff earlier that there's some stuff I refuse to talk about, but there's more to trucking than what y'all see. And it's time where you have to do what you got to do in order to make it. And y'all going to find this stuff out as time goes on. But we're not going to talk about it. But you're absolutely right. And also, owner-operators are some of the best drivers because they're under the impression that they're working for themselves. Company drivers don't care about you or your truck. Owner-operator only eat what they kill, so they have more of a drive to go to work. What's your name?
My name is Kevin. Currently drive for Trans Am. Graduated from North American Trade in November.
We got a few fresh people in here.
Currently drive from Nebraska to Pennsylvania on my 34 right now.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. I ain't even here. You think I'm joking? I picked up a load up in goddamn Jersey. I dropped off in Long Island. I went to Queens, went and picked me up a coat. I came to Jersey, picked the load up, stopped here on the way down. I'm going to Houston when I leave here. So I appreciate you. Right. So I appreciate you taking your time to come here with us, and it's beneficial, and it's going to pay off because as the years go on, exactly what she was just talking about. See, some of these old principles is getting lost. You know, you can't even find somebody to help you change the tire now. You know, you can't even trust nobody to look over your house when you leave. They might break in. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta get back to that, everybody helping each other. And that's, I'm demonstrating, they say be the change you want to see, so I'm demonstrating in that with the way that I'm interacting with y'all in hopes that y'all will carry on and help each other as time go on. Somebody asked me, how can I pay you back? You pay me back by doing for others what I did for you. So as you go on and you get trucks and you move on and do whatever you want to do, we're going to talk about that when we get over here. Don't get to the end and think you made it, because pride comes before destruction. And when you get too high-minded and start thinking you did it all on your own, God, life, the supreme being, whatever you want to call it, because you, your own person, has a way of humbling you and pull the rug from under you and break you down and send you right back in front of the same people that you were showing off in front of, where he elevated you so you can teach them and help them. But that's what we're here for. All us is in this together. We all a part of the same family. It's only one family. I'm not getting into that. People got all these philosophies. If you talk about one person came from one place and all the other people came from that, then that makes us all related. True or false?
True.
So what the fuck are you talking about? You sitting here hollering on the corner. I'm not getting into that. People got all this stuff going on with religion and all this stuff. I'm not into that. What you need to do is figure out how to make you some money so you can take care of yourself and your family and help as many other people as you can while you're living. Because that's what life is about. We all in this together.
Yeah, my name is Danzel. I'm 35 this year. I had my Class B for 7 years. I used to work for the NTA, and I decided to upgrade my license last year in August from a B to A.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and I worked for a couple companies. They was trash. Currently with a company called K-Dog Harlem Fuel.
Okay.
It's alright.
So your hazmat.
Yeah, I got everything.
So, excuse me, you work with fuel, you working at night.
No. 5 o'clock.
You're the second person. Normally fuel is at night.
It don't matter, it's 24 hours. It's,
Yeah.
24/7.
How are you dealing with the smell? Because I hear it seeps in your pores and it follows you.
I think, like now, I'm under the weather.
And it's hard to breathe. Yeah, it's hard to breathe and start getting up in
I
here.
don't even take these 40 hours.
Yeah, I could dig it, but it's some good money.
It's alright.
Yeah, baby.
My name is Christina. I currently have my B's, working on trying to get my A's, and trying to get my own authority. I'm not currently working on it, but
You not working?
no, not right now.
With a B, why not?
Due to life experiences.
Okay, that's not.
So, oh, and I'm from Baltimore.
Okay.
And what else did you want?
That's it. You got any side hustles, any businesses, something people need to know about?
I was currently trying to get into also dispatching. So
What got you interested in dispatching?
because of being able to work from home.
No, not that. Alright. How did you become introduced to the whole entire idea of dispatching?
Looking up on YouTube, and since I was into the trucking thing, I said, well, if I can't do it right now, there are other alternatives. So
That's a big scheme. So I was talking about the South Park Chicken Circuit. And then if anybody run a show on time, we getting into this. She's the last person. But I was talking about the South Park Chicken Circuit. Y'all remember a couple years ago when real estate was so hot? Everybody was wholesale real estate. You don't need any money, no time. Yeah, it's the principle of the soul. Some fell on rocks, some fell between the trees, some fell on good soil. They trying to sell you information to everybody. Trucking is the hot thing right now. So, all right, y'all know it's money in trucking, but people who don't have money in trucking, let's get them hyped up and sell them dispatching. Let me drop this on y'all. Follow these people's careers and see how much money they made off of that actual business, not selling you information. If you sell 3,500 customers a $300 product, you done grossed $1 million. You market it, you advertise it, and you get them to buy. That's what's happening. These guys is not going, and girls, is not going on there with these slick suits, this jewelry, these clothes, and these showing y'all these cars because they was a construction worker and living a life. No, they was a construction worker. They figured out that people spend a lot of money on courses because they went through a bunch of courses like I was telling y'all I did, and they learned the trick, and they coming back and doing what was done to them to y'all. I'm doing to y'all what I don't want done to y'all because it was done to me. They just selling y'all information and getting rich off a product that you make one time. That's why so many ebooks floating around. It's a game. I'm telling y'all, this is a game. Follow these people back. That money that got them flossing like this is from selling information. I'm not knocking the hustle. I'm trying to help y'all so y'all don't spend y'all money because somebody will come along well presented enough and sell you the idea that they got the key to life that's going to unlock riches from the sky and it's going to rainbow money on you. And you spend your last dollar going to this seminar only to get there so they can sell you something bigger. This the game. Free event. Upsell the mentoring at the free event or a 3-day seminar where we really tell you what's up. The free one is just getting you hyped. Now you sold. Now you buy. The free one is 1 day. They sell you the idea so you can buy the 3-day. Then you get there. I went to one. You get there after you done paid them X amount of $1,000 to get there. Now, if you really want to, you know your net worth is your net worth. How many times I heard that? Well, and then this is what they'll tell you. Winners act fast. That's to say, don't think, do. Now they want to sell you a $30,000 real estate cruise because you want to network with the people that's the big boys in the industry, which is beneficial. But I'm just taking the cover off the game. So I'm saying that they selling y'all all this dispatching idea so they can turn around and sell you the programs. But if you text me and text broker, I'll send you all the information that you can become a broker, or I can link you up with some companies where you can become an agent, which is the equivalent of an owner-operator on the broker side, where you're working for yourself, but you're under a Landstar or whatever company, and they fund your invoices, but you work for yourself. The customers you get your percentage and split it with them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need brokers, we don't need dispatchers. Dispatchers don't have any authority. Nobody even heard of a dispatcher 5 years ago outside of the dispatcher that works for a company in the office. This is an idea that they're selling y'all because they got hip to the game and they trying to exploit you for your money. That's what's happening. But I'll send you all that stuff, and there's people that are hired. Matter of fact, TQL will pay to relocate you. They got offices in Miami, down in Fort Lauderdale. They pay for you to move now. They put you on the base pay. Then Landstar will hire you as an agent. You create your own book of customers. You call them. They fund the invoices, and you make money like that. You're not. It's a non-compete clause. You're not supposed to keep those companies and compete against them when you leave. But who really regulates that? And this is America. You can do anything you want to as long as you're willing to deal with the consequences. Just like when he got the free CDL. You understand what I'm saying? We need brokers. We don't need dispatchers. Dispatchers is a scam, if I can even go further to say it. Can you make money dispatching? Yes, in theory. But what trucking company needs you to dispatch a load? Not talking about you specifically. If they're an existing trucking company, they're already getting free. And you coming in new to the game, ain't doing nothing but looking on the load board, you ain't doing no different than what they can do. So from a trucking company position, why do I need you? Unless you got some direct shippers that's paying higher than what I'm already getting, and then by the time you do your percentage, the ideal customer for a dispatcher is going to be somebody who just got in the trucking game, that's not tech savvy, that doesn't know the business, that just wants to drive. And you're going to have to do a lot of digging to find them. And let's say you charge a 5%, the truck gross $5,000. That's $250. You need 10 trucks to make $2,500 a week. Where you gonna find them? And then what's gonna happen when they in the game a while and learn how to book their own loads? Because it's not hard. I used to drive and dispatch 7 trucks. It's not hard. I'm talking about wild driving, not pulled over parked. It's not difficult. So a lot of my equipment didn't come. I ordered it 3 weeks ago. It's just not here. That's why that bag and all that stuff is over there. I'm not fully set up. But my plan was to put the projector screen up and show y'all how to use the load board and also to go through my truck math course. So she was the last person. So everybody pretty much introduced themselves. Now, my background goes further than trucking. So trucking is a tool that I'm using because it's gonna help y'all make money. But I'm gonna save y'all from having to do all these books and stuff and these seminars and all that. You got 2 different, well, you got many types, but you're gonna have motivation over here, you're gonna have technical. You're gonna have somebody like a Tony Robbins or Eric Thomas or somebody like that that gets you pumped up. And then you're gonna have people like Grant Cardones and all these guys that teach you a technical skill so you can make money. But all of that stuff is really your mindset. I didn't know none of this when I started, but I got a will to drive and a hustle mentality. And you as a human being have a body that holds your soul. And you also have an aura. You are a human antenna and a magnet. You ever hear something say, as a man, when you think you're sending signals, okay? What brings it back to you is your emotions in you. And we're gonna go through this real quick because I wanna, if you want something bad enough, you can drill it in your mind and brainwash yourself so you believe it enough so you're going to get it. Excuse me. And you do that by repetition. That's why you hear commercials on the radio over and over again. That's why McDonald's still advertising, even though it's one on every corner, because they're taking up space in your mind. That's why commercials cost so much during the Super Bowl, because they know they got so many people's attention. But why do you think when you hear a song that you don't like, black and yellow, and then 2 months later, after you heard it 1,000,000 times, you know the words, even if you don't like it. I'm not saying I don't like that song. I'm talking about what's happening out here. So I want everybody to take their hands, and if you look at the bottom of your hand, you're gonna see 2 lines. If you can line your hands up even and look. So put them together like you're praying. Where you at? Put them like this. One of your hands bigger than the other one? Huh? No, look at them like this. Right, it's gonna be like a centimeter, half a centimeter off. I wanna show y'all the power of speech. Because thinking is one thing, writing stuff down is another thing, and speaking something is another thing. Then we're gonna have a break. People use the bathroom or whatever. Then we're gonna get straight into this. Take your shortest hand and put it out like this. That's your shortest hand? Whichever one was shorter. Put them together like this based off the lines on the bottom. You think?
Yeah,
now you gotta know.
All right. I mean, let me see. And my hands dirty. I just got out the truck. It's filthy. All right.
Put them together like this. One of your hands are smaller.
What kind of?
One of them is shorter than the other one.
All right, I'm gonna go with the left one.
You're not gonna be 100%, but I want y'all to get the idea. Take your shortest hand right here. I'm gonna show you how powerful words are.
All right.
That's why you gotta be careful how you talk to children and people, because adults are fragile. I want you to say grow. We're gonna say this out loud 20 times. And envision your hand growing. And I want you to really do this. Doubt is going to block your faith out unless your faith is higher. Look at your hand and say it 20 times. Grow, 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 grow. Y'all ain't doing this. See? Put your hands back together. Why you laughing? It's a magic trick, ain't it? That's how powerful your words is. So a little bit about me before we take this break, and then we're gonna get straight into the technical stuff. I want everybody to get familiar. So, somebody that my attorney sent here was here early. Now, I told y'all about the book I ran across in the library when I was in Hagerstown. Why should white guys have all the fun? That's no offense to y'all. We are brothers and sisters in here. When I got out of prison, I saw my attorney. He told me to get this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That was his third book. His first book was The Law of Success in 16 Lessons. His mentor, we talked about mentors, was the richest person in the world at the time, Andrew Carnegie. He wanted to give away all of his money, but he believed that if you gave people money and they didn't know what to do with it or how to handle it, it would cause more harm than good. So he got Napoleon Hill to follow all the richest men in the world, 504 of them, for 20 years, and find out what made them different. And he wrote this book, The Law of Success in 16 Lessons. That was his first book. Think and Grow Rich is his most popular book. That was his third book. And in that, it gives you the principle about your mind. Y'all see all this stuff about The Secret and all this stuff. All of that stuff is old. I went through a self-help phase where I was a complete self-help junkie. It was really good for me. I spent tens of thousands of dollars on my personal self-development. And what I found out is that all of these people were taking his information and remixing it. So I said, well, why would I deal with the scramble when I can just buy the raw? So I bought all of his books and read every last one of them. But then after I got past that, I went and got trained by them. I was the only young man in there from the inner city that looked like me. There were other people of complexion, but I was the only one from the inner city that was young. We had people from the Congo, people from Australia, all different areas of the world, because this is a world-renowned teacher. And so I was trained by them and became a master teacher. And what I'm telling y'all is that all this stuff is good. All that shit is good, but it starts up here. If you can get your mind set on what you want and keep it there, you're sending out the signal. If you can, your mind is the stores out signals. You ever hear somebody say when the prayers go up, the blessings come down? That's what's happening when you're thinking. Meditating in the sense of thinking on something, not meditating like sit still. You're sending out the signal. What brings it back is what they're not telling y'all is the emotions. You ever see somebody, a poor family, grandbaby get locked up? They struggling paying the rent, but for some reason they can come up with $3,000, $4,000 overnight to pay a bondsman. How does that happen? The emotions. You emotionally attached to it. Just think of how strong you would be if your child was stuck underneath a car. You can lift it up, or at least lift it up more than you would have without that emotional attachment. That's why people get goals and quit, because they're not emotionally attached to it. So we are human beings within a body. We have a soul. We have an auric field as well. And that's why you can meet people and not like them as soon as you meet them. Or somebody can come in here and light this room up without saying a word because of the inner being. If you can get emotionally attached to something to where you want it so bad that you do anything to get it, it'll come to you. And if it's not coming to you, it'll still have you motivated enough so you start moving towards it, even when it gets hard. So it's coming towards you and you're moving. That's how this stuff is manifested. And dreams don't happen overnight. So everything has a gestation period. If you're having a baby, it'll take you 9 months. It could be earlier. If you're having a C-section or whatever the case is. But don't give up because something don't happen overnight. It's going to happen in time and at the right time. So you got to keep on track to it. Keep your mind on it. But you see how your hand just grew? Was that a trick? No, because y'all saw it with your own. You saying I said you laughing. Hey, like what the fuck going on? This is some wacky shit. What you got going on? Now, imagine if you were waking up every morning and reading your goals. Right. Morning, noon, and night. Then your mind stay focused on it. You sending it off. And you're always thinking on it. And you become emotionally attached to it, which is going to make you start moving towards it. And it'll start drawing it towards you. And that's how people talk about manifesting and all this stuff. But I want to show y'all that trick because you can read all them books. And I just showed it to you just in a real simple form. They're using all these pages as support documents to show you exactly what I just taught you. There's studies that have shown you froze water that they prayed over and changed the chemicals, compounds of it, as far as how it actually crystallizes. You can go on YouTube right now and they got plants where they took one plant, same conditions. They played negative words on the radio. Then they took another one, positive words. The plant actually died. I'm talking, you can watch this hundreds of different times and controlled experiments. So this is it's not a fable. This is some real shit. You need to be conscious of what you're thinking, what you're saying, and what you're listening to. Music is really bad. I love rap music. I was raised on it. It is not any good for us. They ain't talking about shit. They programming you to want to kill people and programming little girls to grow up and be prostitutes. And that too. This new style of wearing the see-through stuff, as enticing as it is, I love women. Women is God's gift to man, if you want to take it there. But prostitutes were the ones wearing see-through, ripped up. There you go. So you got female, so they already took care of the men over generations of brainwashing through music. You got people from the suburbs wanting to be gangsters for what? Gangsters don't win. And you got good girls wanting to be prostitutes. You know you get what you look like. You talk about when you look good, you feel good, because it has something to do with your personality and your mindset, and it does have an effect on you. Colors have an effect. Numbers have an effect. So if you dress like a hooker, what you think you attracting? Then you're saying men don't want nothing but sex. But you got the whole thing up. And you're worried about getting pulled over, but you fit the profile. You're asking for it. So we're going to chill, have a bathroom break if y'all want to get something to eat. And then when we get back, we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of this. It's 5:19. 5:45, you can come back. That'll give everybody a chance to use. It's 2 bathrooms back there. Burlington's got one. They got chicken over there, and they got it's food all around here. Get something to eat. You can bring it back in here. Oh, the water's gone. Do y'all want some water? Y'all want me to go get a case of water or something? Chill, network with each other, because y'all gonna be seeing each other throughout y'all journey, and then we're gonna get straight into this, because this is the technical side of A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, exactly what you need to do to get your money. But the mindset is more important than all of that. So I'll see y'all in a second. I'm gonna sit down because I've been standing up all day.